Good Saturday afternoon, YouTube modeling community. Pappy here at West Georgia Rods and Customs. Hope everyone's getting some well-needed R&R and some styrene therapy today. I definitely am. Nothing better to do on a cold, wet, dreary Georgia day than just to pull out a new kit and start on just a new build all around. What I've got out on the bench today is the Airfix 172nd Focke-Wulf FW190A-8. Al Wood was gracious enough to send me this kit across the pond maybe about a year ago. He and I was conversing one time about 172nd scale. Al loves to build the 172nd scale aircraft, and he called it the gentleman's scale. Well, the gentleman that he is, he sent me this kit, and I'm going to build this in honor of him for the Al Woods Modeling Mayhem Group Build Appreciation Group Build, however you want to say that. Our old buddy Aries Styrene, Mr. Andrew up there in the cold tundra of Canada, thought that it would be just a fitting tribute for him because he does so much for this great community. So what better to do than just to pull out the one that he was gracious enough to send me and start on it. So pulled it out, got out the old tools and everything, and last night started punching out parts, things like that, just getting everything ready for some fitment and start spraying some paint on this thing. I've had the paint, finally went and got me some colors there that's appropriate for this. Actually had to convert, as you can see, there's my little cheat sheet. I had to convert some of the colors that come with this kit. They use, of course, it's Humbrol, as you can tell right there. I'm gonna airbrush a lot of this. I actually probably about 99% of it, and then hand paint some things. But I had to take the Humbrol colors and break them down, which I use a lot of Tamiya paint, and had to convert that to the Tamiya colors. So I went and got all that last weekend, got it sitting here somewhere. It's all mixed into those. I'm gonna get it mixed up, and possibly, I doubt very seriously I'm gonna get any painting done today. It's kind of cold. Like I say, it's cold and dreary here in Georgia. So I may not airbrush anything, but what I was able to do was, of course, get a lot of the parts punched out and get them on the bench. And I wanted to do some fitment. This is just, I wouldn't call this a tutorial or a tip or anything, but one of the things I like to do, especially on these smaller aircraft like this, is kind of mock it up, do a dry fit. I use the Tamiya real small tape in order to do this, and those tear off little strips and just kind of mock everything up. This kind of gives me an idea of what am I going to be up against when I start assembling this thing. If many of you have never built a aircraft, of course, as far as you have to, you build a cockpit first, then you get it all painted up, detail, and then you put it into the cockpit itself, and then you marry the two halves together. Well, sometimes before that happens, you've got to at least check, you need to check fitment on these things before you start gluing them up. Because after you do the detail on as far as painting the cockpit, getting everything up on it, and then putting it in there, then gluing it together, there's no getting it back. You can't take it back out unless you break the two halves apart. So before you even start assembly, the best thing to do is just do a dry fit. And this kind of tells you, where you stand. And really, this Airfix kit, this is a great fitting kit. As you can tell, everything, I can't even hardly see a seam line on this thing except for right down through there. I got a little sanding to do right there toward the back part of the horizontal stabilizer down through there. So I'll get that sanded, get that fitting real good, and we'll get it fitting a lot better than it is. And then we'll address the seam lines once we get everything fit. But this is just a wonderful fitting little bird right here. I have a love affair with old WW2 old warbirds. So this is actually the first German aircraft that I've built since actually pursuing trying to build a lot of the World War II aircraft. So thanks, Al. I really appreciate this. I'm gonna try to do this justice. Probably, and my idea long term is to when I get this built and get it finished, I'm going to build a little diorama base with it sitting on an airfield somewhere, somewhere in Germany. And it's just going to be a small base. Ain't going to be very big, but I'm going to do a little detailed, as far as grass and everything. So anyhow, that's where I'm at right now with the Alwood Appreciation Group Bill right here. Awesome little kit, and I really appreciate it, Al. All right, folks, you wondering what is Big Daddy Don Gartlett's dragster doing on my bench with a old German aircraft? Well, next weekend is the JaxCon model show in Jacksonville, Florida. Went to it last year, had a great time with old Tom Rambler 69, old Rick at Heartbeat Model Shop, Jim Styrene Monkey was there, Rick Zink, Papa Dan, oh my God, Matt at Model Car Art and his wife Shannon. We all had a wonderful time, so headed back down there this year. This is next weekend, so if any of you live in the Florida area or if you're making plans on coming to the JaxCon show, I'll be there. This will be coming with me. I'll have this on the bench with it. Just packing things up today, just checking, kind of polishing, taking the old dust brush and kind of dusting things off. After I finish a build, I usually put them in there in a case, and the majority of them have been in a case, so they're pretty much well dust proof. So I'll put them in the case over here, and once I get them dusted and checked for any loose parts or anything, and get them boxed up and ready to go. Next week's going to be a busy week for me at work, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of time, so I might as well start doing it today. Some of the other builds that's going to be coming with me down there will be this wonderful looking 32 Ford Highboy right here. Just finished that back. This was my first build. This is the second build of the year that I finished, and this is the first build that I finished of the year for 2020. This one will be coming down here with me. Just finished or with me down to Jacksonville, so I finished that one in January also. The old Budweiser Caprice, I think that's a Caprice body. Chevy, that'll be coming down there with me as well. The Pro Street 70 Chevelle, that one's coming down with me, as well as the 70 Chevrolet Blazer. Most of these I showed them at Acme show. I know the Blazer, the Chevelle, that one right there was all at the Acme show. These are two brand new builds right here that are even. I mean, they're going to be first time on the tables for these two. Another one that's coming down there. Let me swing around here. Y'all take your Dramamine. And the other one that's coming down there, I thought about not bringing it, but old Rick, I'm bringing it. Rick asked me if I would bring this one down there and show it. I tell you what, I hope I can get it down there in one piece. This bill right here has, I would like to go ahead. I'm probably going to show it one more time, but I'm going to finally, probably after this show, I'm going to put it up on the, I'll probably get me a box built and get it set up here on the shelf and just do a retirement on it. This one took about a year and a half to complete, but it's, oh wow. The first show that I carried it to the Hobbytown USA show at my local Hobbytown. Did real well with it, took first place with it in large scale, but carrying it to Acme, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about what happened, but anyhow, I got everything repaired back on it, and we brought it home, set it down, and just, I wouldn't say, but Rick and I was talking about a week ago and told him, I said, you think I ought to bring the Camaro down there? He said, shoot, you're crazy if you don't, but it's coming with me. So many of you, if you, any of these builds that y'all have watched me build over the course of the last year that I just showed you, if any of these are your favorite and you're coming down to Jacksonville, be looking for them on the table. Getting them, once I get them all polished up and everything, they go into their cases, and that's how I travel. My big ones, as far as like the big Blazer, they go in this top one right here. So, but that's my carrying case that I normally transport bills to the shows with, and I just kind of bills go in there, and then any of the little accessories that I need as far as glues and stuff, in case if I was to drop something or something breaks off in transport, I always have that right there. Well, let me flip back around here and give y'all once more of this beautiful old warbird that I'm building here and for my buddy Al Wood over across the pond. Appreciate it. If y'all ain't subscribed to Al, get subscribed to him. He does some wonderful work as far as he builds beautiful dioramas. He builds a lot of diorama, a lot of military. Really enjoys, very inspirational as far as watching his builds. So get by there, Al Wood's Modeling Mayhem, if you ain't subscribed to him. Well, folks, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna try to get a little bit more bench time, get these old bills polished up, and get them in the box, and get ready for next weekend. Folks, if you can dream it, build it. God bless y'all. Pappy out.